Hello from Italy. What if I told you that armed soldiers are involved in safeguarding forests and protecting wildlife? Not in the Serengeti National Park in Africa, not in Sariska Tiger Reserve in India, but right here in southern Europe. Yes, you heard that right, in southern Europe, in Italy to be precise. I had never thought that militarized conservation exists anywhere in the global north, let alone in Europe, until I went to a conference last week on the topic of old growth forests and ancient trees. It was organized by a division of Arma di Carabinieri, or Carabinieri Command of the Forest, Environmental, and Agri Food Units, to be precise, in Italy, which employs nearly 5,000 trained soldiers in uniforms. Many of them were present at this magnificent venue behind me, Palazzo Vecchio, which also doubles up as the town hall in Florence, the capital of Tuscany in central Italy. Having studied and taught about the pitfalls of militarized conservation, which emphasizes the use of force and paramilitary strategies for conservation, I had always thought that this approach alienates people from nature protection because conservation of nature must always be based on the trust and involvement of local people. I had always thought that the practice of militarized conservation has historical roots in colonial and authoritative models that involve the forceful removal and exclusion of local communities from their lands. In this model, armed guards combat illegal activities like wildlife poaching and trafficking. These activities are seen as a threat to law and order, public safety, and even national security, a reason used to justify militarized conservation. But could there be reasons to believe that there is a place for militarized conservation if best practice is followed? And what might that best practice look like? In Italy, Arma di Carabinieri, despite being armed, take an inclusive approach to conservation. Yes, they do protect their natural heritage, for example, old growth forests from illegal logging or arson attacks that can lead to irreversible loss of these forests. But what I found was that these armed guards are genuinely interested in the full spectrum of nature's values, not just its intrinsic value, because nature is magnificent and deserves to be protected, or the instrumental value, because nature is useful to people and supplies goods and services, but relational value. Nature means something to us at a deeper level through our culture, spirituality, and even religion. What also struck me is that the recipe for Arma di Carabinieri's success is their integrative rather than exclusionary approach to knowledge and practice. In this conference, the armed guards were willing to listen to perspectives from researchers and practitioners who are looking at forests from many different viewpoints. And forest guards were present throughout the 3 days to listen and learn. For me, this conference was a breath of fresh air, where those present were genuinely interested in hearing each other, as opposed to defending their long held beliefs. I will certainly continue to think about the nuances of militarized conservation and the diversity of practices around the world under this broad umbrella. But ultimately, any form of conservation needs to embrace the full spectrum of nature's values, not just intrinsic or instrumental, but most importantly, relational. And then conservationists can take people along with them and not alienate them.